1990s, Lemmings was pretty much ubiquitous as a puzzle game. I had my first experience of playing this game on one of my school's Acorn Archimedes A3000 machines, unlike many who first played it on the Amiga. Now, Lemmings has a reputation for having appeared on pretty much every system that you can think of, and this is true. Even the 8-bit home computers that dominated the British scene of the 1980s got ports of Lemmings, and today that's what we're going to have a look at. So, first up we have the Amstrad CPC version of the game. As you can see from the off, this is quite a colourful, if somewhat chunky looking version, which is pretty standard for most full colour Amstrad CPC games. Now, whilst the graphics are quite chunky, they are still very definitely recognisable as the game Lemmings. They retain all the character and colour and fun that people associate with the game. The biggest drawback here, it's slow. Really slow. But this is a drawback of the machine. It's a Z80 based machine with limited hardware, and to be honest, the fact that the coder's got the game running at all is somewhat of a miracle, but it does still play well, and it sounds pretty good as well, especially when, well, you'll see when we get to the Spectrum version what I mean about in comparison to other 8-bit home computer versions. Up next is the C64 version of the game. Again, this is quite chunky looking, but it has two main advantages. One, it runs an awful lot faster, and two, it sounds a heck of a lot nicer. Again, whilst it isn't as colourful or as smooth looking as say the Amiga or the Archimedes versions, it is recognisably Lemmings, and this is good. The gameplay is still there, much like on the Amstrad version, albeit at a pace which is more familiar to those who have played it on a 16-bit console or computer. Again, the music sounds great, which you expect from a Commodore 64, and there isn't much more you can say. It's a brilliant little conversion which arrived incredibly late in the Commodore 64's commercial lifetime. And now the Spectrum version. Two main drawbacks to the Spectrum version. One, the monochrome graphics. There's no getting around it. It looks different, but it is still recognisably Lemmings. The Lemmings themselves still have the character with the bouncy hair, and the level layouts are easily recognisable and easy to make out. The game is paced somewhere between the Amstrad and C64 versions for myself. I feel it's a little faster than the Amstrad, not quite up to C64 speed, but still definitely playable. The biggest drawback to this version of the game though is the music. Dear God, the music. There is one audio track, it runs for the entire game, and it gets irritating. Very irritating. But again, this is a 16-bit game that was somehow crammed into a very limited and frankly unsuited 8-bit machine. So there you have it folks, Lemmings on the 8-bit home computers. It was a brave conversion, it was a fun conversion. What more can be said? Somebody was brave enough to give it a go, they did it, it works. Thus proving that Lemmings is one of those rare games where the gameplay is universal, immaterial of how it looks. Now, if you've enjoyed this video, don't forget to hit the like button, subscribe to the channel, leave a comment below, or find me on one of my social media channels to let me know what's going on, and whether you want to see more videos like this or more videos like some of my other ones, such as the Project Phoenix emulator video. Until next time, this is Rob saying so long.